over the phone, price quotes are fine and dandy, but as with any job, you don't know what you're dealing with until you actually have the car in front of you or have things apart. The timing belt replacement here was on a 1.8 turbo, straightforward, and yes, there is a usual labor guide or quote that you can quote a customer hour-wise, etc. I'll superimpose it in the video here. So the hourly rate will give you a ballpark figure of the labor, the cost, and then obviously the parts. The boss can handle that as well. So yes, there is a ballpark figure that he can quote over the phone. But in this case, when taking stuff apart, the crank pulley didn't want to come off, so I had to pry it off and pry it against the bottom plate. I probably could have straightened this plate again, but we had a good used one ready to go. The time spending straightening this would have just been wasted time. The other thing is this coolant pipe here. Look at how rusty it is. I'm not sure if it's focusing okay. I'm not wearing my glasses, but this pipe is about to burst. This is probably a bit of coolant right here already. So this is a part that wasn't anticipated in the quote. Same with that bottom plate here. So you got to keep that in mind. Over the phone, estimates are just to give you general ideas. An estimate is an estimate. This car here, it's a 2-liter Golf. It's an oil burner. Customer phoned, check engine lights flashing, engine is running rough. So yes, the boss was able to tell over the phone that the car is misfiring. You can see some severe fouling going on here. This one here is number 3 cylinder. You can see it's still wet, and or how wet it looks compared to the others. So it wasn't firing the fuel, and that's why it's wet, but ended up doing a compression test on it. There's no compression on number 3 cylinder. So the over the phone estimate, you know, can I bring my car in? The check engine lights flashing. Yes, no problem, bring it in, but we won't know what the problem is until we actually look at it. It could have been as simple as just changing the fouled spark plugs and making the owner aware of oil usage, and I think this customer has already been aware of oil usage or consumption. But we can't foresee a low compression in a cylinder over the phone. So anyways, keep that in mind when you phone. I know a lot of people just phone around to get the lowest estimate, but that doesn't do you any good if you have a car that has rust everywhere, you know, and in order to get at stuff breaks. Or there's a bunch of other stuff while you're in there in the neighborhood of anything. If you're doing a brake job or you know, you're doing a tune-up like this, or timing belt service I should say, this is right in the neighborhood, so that's why we ended up replacing it, because if it's going to blow, we're going to have to get back in there sometime later. It may not blow for another month or 2 or 6 months, but when it does, the customer's going to be back for extra labor, whereas now it was just unbolt here and there, and we got a new pipe in. Anyways, keep that in mind when you're looking to get estimates. If you have a regular garage that you stick with them. You know, no need to phone around for a cheaper option.